Get in, nerds, we are playing Victoria 3. So, last episode ended with a little bit of a crash. I've gone through the event and done the same thing that I was doing at the end of the episode last time. So hopefully, that won't happen anymore. I was able to load the autosave that came up with the event at the same time as the event on November 1st, so hopefully we won't be having ourselves a problem. Standard of living is going back up. It's not where I would like it to be, but, you know, it's close. We're getting there. We're significantly outpacing Britain. We're outpacing France, Occitania, Spain, North German Federation, Austria, significantly outpacing Russia. Sweden and... Oh, Norway's not ahead of us, but Sweden's ahead of us. Sweden, the major in the north. What if I took a protectorate over Norway? I know Russia just tried to do that. Would anyone step in? Not the British, interestingly. The Austrians might, the Russians would not, the Swedish might, the Danish might. I might do this. I might be able to make this happen. Let's go for it. Hope that wasn't too much infamy. Wasn't paying that close attention. No, only 10. Sweden, we're still friends, right? Yeah, it seems we're friends. Norway has no army, so as long as nobody steps in, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Right? Alright, actually Sweden's more likely to step in on our side. You're likely to have to fight the Austrians, but again, if we fight the Austrians, then I can steal Tyrol, and that's, again, a thing that I would like to do. A thing that I would be delighted to do. I don't think I'll be able to add it to the primary, but I would be delighted if I could. That would be fun. I haven't looked at my... Right, I have looked at my government. And then over here we have a company available. Okay. I want to start producing the better steel. And for that I need arc welding. Alright. So that's our goal. I should be able to get there before the end of the game. Austria sides with Norway. Alright, beautiful. Austria, gimme Tyrol. Tyrol. Gimme. And once again, I cannot make it primary because it's, I can't make it primary because it's not, against a target who is the primary war goal target. Haha! Get baited, Austria. Sweden sides with Norway, okay. Now, Sweden has a real... Well, Sweden has an army. Line infantry, trench infantry, squad infantry, and a little bit of siege. Okay, so they got real units. Not fantastic ones. But, they do have some kinds of military. Sweden has a real army, so this won't be a pushover situation. I won't be able to simply push them over. But I should be able to get what I want to get. Now, can I bring Sweden in? Sway with war goals. Enforce treaty article. Investment rights in Austria. Oh, what an interesting circumstance. I would be delighted. Oh, they don't want it anymore. Well... Hold on, they might... Attempt to sway Sweden failed. Alright, so they don't want it anymore. What a shame. What a tragedy. That's okay. So I could bring in one of these other powers, but genuinely, I don't feel like I need to. I feel like I should be able to land whatever kind of force I wish to land with no difficulty here. So I'm just gonna kind of do as I like. I need a bunch more munitions, which I do have the capacity to build up. So let's go ahead and build up. Automotive industries can't hire. That's a little shocking. Where's my munitions plants? Where's my munitions plants? Here we are. It turned out I was simply a fool who did not know where buttons were located. We're going to see how many of these we're building at once. Okay, we actually do have the capacity to build a bunch more, so we'll build a bunch more. And those will kind of downsize on their own steam, but for the moment, I've got munitions plants on the higher production method, don't I? Don't I? Yes, I do. How embarrassing would it have been if I had not? Italian-American society offers opportunity. The Italian-American Society has offered us an opportunity to acquire trade privileges from the United States of America. The lobby has offered to use their connections to smooth the negotiating process. The negotiations, done under the table with a representative of the American government, have been long and arduous. The American representative knew that they were dealing with a group without the power to match theirs, and had adjusted their strategy accordingly. Nevertheless, they had come to an agreement. Nothing in writing, but that was hardly important. When the government sent the official copy, if they did, they would find that there was already a drafted response waiting in Washington. We would be happy to pursue this, or this is not in our interest. I'm going to say we'd be happy to pursue it. Nice chance to get us a little bit of progress with them. I am going to go ahead and mobilize my conscripts here. Nothing absolutely buck wild, just doing it. I don't think this is going to be a large war, but I don't want to be too ridiculous. But I think I can stay on middle taxes. Let's see if I'm right. A group of students attending the University of Umbria have arranged a demonstration in support of the positivist movement. The display has inspired other students to join the cause. The lecture hall was barren. There were always one or two students missing for illnesses, travel, or family occasions, but nothing of this scale. There were 3 or 4 students per row, each thrown into sharp contrast by the empty seats to their sides. It was material for a lecture of its own, he thought. Like a heap of sand whose grains had blown away one after another until its form suddenly changed, so followed what had once been a class. The youth will lead Italy into the future, stronger political strength and reduced university throughput in Umbria, stronger positivist movement, or they ought to focus on their studies, half those other modifiers, and instead of a stronger positivist movement, 5% of academics pops become more radical. I'm going to do the second one. A few radicals and funny hats is not going to be a problem for me. I'm also going to raise military wages to get myself extra morale recovery, because that should be just fine here. And we're going to do a naval invasion with this army when the time comes with our primary fleet. I cannot bring in anyone else. Anyone else we could bring in has declared neutrality, which is just fine. I don't need to worry about that. Sweden has become antagonistic, but I think that will change. I think their tune will change pretty soon. Investment pool is growing. That's a good thing, because I'm going to stop increasing the size of it in a little bit. They have put together significant force here, but again, I feel strongly in my capacity to win against Sweden. There's conveyors, and that gets us one step closer to arc welding, which are very nearly finished. If we got plastics, we should have plastics. Norway backs down. Beautiful. Good choice. Sweden. Why are you antagonistic? Oh, we were such good friends. There we go. Now they're genial again. Wonderful. Austria, your time will come. One of these days, you will try to protect someone who doesn't wish to be protected, and on that day, there will be a kerfuffle. A straight kerfuffle for Tyrol. So, we just unlocked plastics. That lets us grab... Oop, I don't need all these munitions plants, but I'm going to build them anyway. I'm going to build them anyway, and they'll take losses, and that's fine. That lets us snag houseware plastics. That is an oil input, so that's going to be about 300 times 20, which is about 6,000 oil. Have we got 6,000 oil in our customs union? Looks like we for sure do, actually. So let's do it. Now we're cooking with glass. We do have some additional labor-saving production methods available. It actually does save labor. What about this one? That one does too, if only a little bit. What about our motor industries? Now, motor industries are chronically difficult to get profitable. What if I hit rotary valve engine? Let's start there. Okay, rotary valve engine is profitable. Now, what about assembly line? Assembly line is also profitable. Okay. Motor industries are good to go. But obviously, that means electricity shortages. Calabria, Venezia. Let's take a look. Venezia, we need an additional 10 levels. No problem at all. Boop. We'll go up to 20 just for good measure. Calabria is down here. We need an additional 5 levels. Boop. We'll go up to 10 just for good measure. I'm going to put these power plants actually at the top of the queue. Because I think they're more important than the munitions plants. Now, where else? Those are the only locations. Interesting. We probably have small electricity shortages in multiple areas, though. Yeah, so we're a little expensive in Umbria, a little expensive in Sardinia as well. So we'll take a look at those zones and plan accordingly. Local price for electricity, yep, we need another 5. I'm going to Alt-Shift-Click. Did that put them at the top of the queue or the bottom? Bottom, okay. And then Umbria, we need, wow, we need, I think, 24 total levels here. So 10 and 1, and we'll let those be at the end. Plastic production. The switch to plastic in our glassworks is set to revolutionize the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a world first. Behold this perfectly carved ivory chess piece. Beautiful, no? What if I were to tell you it is not ivory at all, but a new material known as plastic? Plastic is the future, extra glassworks throughput, or we should spread this knowledge. Occitania gets an improvement on relations and extra progress towards plastics. You know what? Spread the knowledge. Occitania is friend. My good buddy, Occitania. All will benefit if things are doing better in Occitania. France? What's going on? Oh my goodness, look at all this. So the British have got the Germans on their side. The Indians are leading with the French. A boatload of vassals and nobody else. I am not involved because this is about the transfer of... They're trying to get Sindh and Baluchistan back. Okay, alright. India is confident. Now's a good time to go after Great Britain if I wanted to start another war with Great Britain, which, you know, temptation size large, frankly. United States wants a treaty. Trade privileges for trade privileges. You know, I would be delighted. Let's negotiate. Can I get anything useful? Well, they definitely like this. Wow. Take on debt's not that significant. They won't give me investment rights in addition to trade privileges. What about cash money? None that's worth anything. Law commitment, perhaps? Wealth voting, sir. No, they won't go to Universal. Shame. What about... Huh, what a curious United States. Policing dedicated? They don't want to. Dang. Alright, fine. We'll do trade privileges. That'll make our American-Italian tree block happy. Lobby opportunity completed. Wonderful. Cash flow's looking good. I'm gonna drop back military wages to Midland. That's not supposed to happen. I feel like I was making more money before. And now Britain is in the middle of a different war. France, Canada, Belgium, and Portugal are joining Senegal in a fight for independence from Britain. Now, did the other fight pop off? It did. Wait, no, I don't think it did. No, it's almost happening, and the British are at war with Spain. Oh man, time to bully Britain. What can I get joining this chicanery? Steal a subject? Anyone I could get? Nobody I'm super interested in. Conquer state. It probably won't let me take anything really good. East Sahara, that's... East Sahara, that's here. Hormuz, okay. Eastern New Guinea, Karaman, I don't even know where that is. Semnon. A bunch of different places in various areas around the world. And we'll think about it. Maybe we'll try and liberate Australia. Independently. Maybe we'll do it independently. Canadians are really pushing hard over here. That's very good. How do I... Orgulls, can I get a liberate country? No, I cannot. Well, that's a shame. A crying shame, in fact. Regime change? Not anywhere that it would impact things. How's Norway feeling? They're feeling defiant, but they don't have to be. Relations could be better. Netherlands sides with Great Britain. Netherlands and friends side with Great Britain. What if I took this opportunity to, like, seize Belgium or something? Wait. Belgium is a major. I can't seize Belgium. And so is Netherlands. Belgium and Netherlands are majors. That almost never happens. What if I snag Hanover? Do we still have a truce, Hanover? We do. Gosh dang it. Only for another 9 months, but it would be the perfect time. What if I take Tyrol? Oh, I can't take Tyrol because we got a truce with the Austrians again. Because of that thing. That thing keeps resetting my truce. I should... That's like a weird infinite truce glitch. It's not an infinite truce glitch. I'm being hyperbolic for comedic effect, but it is what it is. Oh boy, oh boy, don't crash again. Don't crash again. Alright, we're good. We're good. Stop trying to lock in. Alright, I'll close the freaking diplomatic play, Vicky 30 Jeepers. Dial it back. Oh man. Vicky 3 is wilding out. Cash flow is looking pretty good, although I'm once again not using my entire construction queue. Hey, what does my market need? Set to market price. Art is looking pretty good. I can keep making more movies. We're exporting a ton of art. Then again, I am subsidizing a lot of art. So, first though, let's take a quick look. Oop, not this. The building registry. Let me look at the arts academies and just make sure that they're owned. Bangkok. Okay. I just want to make sure that they're owned by... mostly by Italy. Okay, so there are some places that are... Yeah, okay, so most of them are owned in Italy. Visayas. That's curious. Very interesting. And some of these places are really low in profitability. So our most profitable movie houses are in Piedmont. Piedmont, Apulia, the ones in Sardinia are not able to hire. We'll do a little expansion of the ones in Lazio. I think they should be good. But we'll see. Like, art is so expensive in our market. Crazy high expensive. Let's take a look at the world market, though, and see how prices kind of look. Yeah, okay, so so cars and radios are still the biggest money makers in the global market. Art's getting there. Obviously, we're exporting a ton of art to the global market. Engines are a little bit of a money maker. Groceries are a little bit of a money maker. But overall, it's radios and it's automobiles, which is interesting. So I think another expansion of the automotive industry might be the best way to go. Let's see what labor-saving methods in the automotive industry looks like. Okay, so that has improved productivity. What's that done to oil prices in my customs union? Okay, oil prices are still basically at reasonable levels. So I'm feeling pretty good about my overall situation. I'm gonna always go to the highest, the most labor-saving method for military industry. That just makes the buildings more able to employ faster when a war comes, which is what I want to have. So, before I do this, let me see. I do have some unemployment now, but standard of living is shooting upward. Shooting upward. What do we have shortages of? Electricity, ammunition. Radios and ammunition. That's bananas. Why do I have ammunition shortages? I've got 1 million levels of frickin' munitions plants. Okay, they are hiring, because they are way more profitable now with assembly lines running. Alright, that's beautiful. That's perfect. That's what we want. That's what we want. So now, do we increase the size of the electrics industry? I think we do. Where are tanks at? Because I know tanks gets a funny situation. Tanks are mostly affordable right now, but they will get more expensive during a war. International telephone exchange. It has been suggested that by establishing a cross-border telephone exchange with Switzerland, that we can improve relations more effectively. Well, it certainly cuts down on misunderstandings, so we can just pick up the telephone and work out what's going on across the border. Sounds like a great idea. Improves relations, or I don't think so. Doesn't. We'll go with the first one. I like having good relations with Switzerland. That's just fine. Britain and North German Federation seem to be winning against France, unfortunately. Which is a shame, but it is what it is. In South Africa. I can't demand you anything. Austria sides with Denmark over the issue with Oyo. Okay, who's likely to also join this? Canada, maybe. Occitania, probably. War goals. Make protectorate over Denmark. There's an interesting idea. What if instead of that, I ask for a conquer state of Tyrol? A thing that I have been talking about at some length. I do wish to do this. Oyo would accept. Oh, temptation size large. Because I wouldn't be able to throw my own objectives in here. It would only be to snag Oyo from Austria. Which do I want more? Do I want Protectorate over Denmark, or do I want Tyrol? I think I want Tyrol. Let's do it. Excellent. Turkey? They're doing a republic! Oh, hell yeah. Get him, Turkey. Fantastic. Oh, wonderful. Get everybody together. So this means Occitania is almost assuredly going to join the Danes. Which I would hope they would not, but realistically is probably a likely outcome. Let me see. Our fleets are positioned not ideally. Let's see. We'll put this fleet here. Where's my other fleet? I have so many fleets. Ah, off the coast of Africa. Well, that makes sense. Oop. That's not the button. I keep using the go-to button and not the I keep using the naval invasion button when I mean to use the go-to button. Occitania sides with Denmark. All right. Easy peasy. Let's put this army over here so that we can win that battle. Hipper skipper. Shouldn't be a problem. We got this fleet blockading Austria. Nice. Looking good. So with this army, we'll push into Occitania. Let's raise military wages once again. This is not... I'm still not going to treat this as a large war. Uh-oh. What's wrong with you? You have a supply issue. Why? We have an input goods shortage. We do not. So why are you having such a significant situation? You're in Italy. You're on the border. Why are you having a problem? No, I'm gonna have you go to this HQ. And hopefully the game will reassess. Okay, now they're 100% supplied. So now we put them back on the front. And why are they... Our army is just automatically unsupplied prior to a war? What is happening here? This army isn't unsupplied. Hell's happening? Why aren't they getting any supplies? Are they in exile? They shouldn't be. They're on an active... They're in Italy. Okay, well, we're just going to keep an eye on this. Hopefully it'll sort itself out when the war begins. Because I don't like how this number keeps freaking going down. I'm going to move this army back to freaking Italy. Okay. Alright, now we're at 100% supply. We're gaining an organization. Now the war has begun, so I'm going to put them back on this front once again. And they've gone down to 0% supply again. Why is this happening? We're winning with no supplies. That's extremely funny. Well, yeah, of course we're losing major battles. We don't have any supply. So this is a glitch. This is a bug. This should not be happening. We don't have a shortage of convoys, and in any case, this army is in Italy. It's physically here. It is on a border in its home country. Anyway, how's our progress into Tyrol? Looking good. We've got 62% occupation. And we're shooting forward out of Wallachia as well, which will be very nice, and that'll let us make as much progress as we wish to make. Alright, the enemy is fighting us. We are actually losing a naval battle here. We're losing 2 naval battles here. What is going on? Oh, this is the Turkish fleet that's losing naval battles here. Netherlands is embargoing me. Well, that's not a shocker. That's not a surprise. Again, force comparison here continues to be bad because this army is just unsupplied for no reason. I should report that as a bug, because that's a bug in all ways that matter. It certainly seems not intended. So now, Austria does not have war support protection, and they're occupied, they're losing a lot of battles, and our side holds all of our war goals, so I should be able to win this war, no problem. The force comparison here got a little better. Now, are our allied armies supplied? They're also not supplied. Curious. What I'll probably do is I'll probably do a naval invasion with this army. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Let me do a naval invasion with the 3rd Fleet. You know, once there's not a battle underway. To sneak in and get some occupation over here and see if we can't unbork our supply problem. Yeah, we'll suffer reduced efficiency, but I think we can make it no problem. Dang, we are getting a lot of occupation over here. That's extremely fun. Let's set this fleet to interception so that it's supporting this naval invasion. Okay, force comparison here looks pretty good. And this army is supplied. Although amusingly, we are winning our defensive battles over here despite our lack of supply. So hopefully we can get Provence, and then this front will come miraculously supplied again. There's arc welding. Beautiful. So now we grab that company, which is a steel company. What's this? Select fish. I do enjoy select fish. This is the one. 5 building levels of steel mills that are privately owned or nationally owned, not owned by a company. So we need to nationalize some steel mills. Headquarters will be in Emilia. So let's nationalize some steel mills here. Nationalize. 5 levels. And then we will form our company. Wonderful. Let me see. Industry rights, I can expand them into power, but I don't necessarily need to. They're not producing prestige goods at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll do the same thing I did originally with that other company, with United Construction, and I will subsidize the steel mills. And that will get the company growing at a significant rate. How's this naval invasion going? Provence, we don't have much occupation, but we could have more later. And how is Austria's war support? Austria's war support is going way down. Occitania's war support is also going way down. So hopefully they'll just want to bail out of the war pretty dang quick. There's that. So now these have merged into one front. So now, I think I'm just going to pull this army out over to here. Because I need to get them supplied, and that seems the only way to get it done. And we can have this army push into Occitania. Languedoc is the capital. Yes, they are. Yes, it is. So that should not be an issue. Wow, Austria, you're getting stomped over here. You need to stop trying to fight me, Austria. I know this happened because I tried to fight them, but, you know, they deserved it. So, does this army continue to have supply now that they're at the front? Answer is yes. So their organization should be increasing, yes? It is, but it's happening very slowly. Okay, well that's a pain, but it is what it is. I can continue to hold here, and soon I will get all that which I desire. And as soon as I can snag, my Conquer Tyrol objective. Alright, Occitania has bailed out. That's extremely funny, all things considered. That went down that way. We'll just deploy into this front. 10% organization, that's not so bad. Actually, let's go ahead and naval invade Denmark. Because that's the country we're actually fighting. Is anyone else on this side? Oh, Canada's on this side. Well, hey, they got Newfoundland. Good for you, Canada. I know we're on opposite sides of the war here, but I think you're just dandy. I think you're just dandy, and I would be delighted if, hey, we finally got Tyrol. Yes! Incorporate! Oh, man. Tyrol has been totally mismanaged by the Austrians. Unbelievable. First, let's normalize production methods here. Get them a proper economy. What's the population? Population is less than 1 million, but that's still amounts that could be worthwhile. Alright. We need some farms. We need some lumber yards. That's a given. Explosives factories can be productive industry. Let's build a couple more of them. We're obviously going to need more railways and more power plants. Couple more construction sectors. And then what kind of industry do we want? Let's stick with old, reliable automotive. Wow, this state's really in terrible shape. This state's shot through with turmoil, and everything's really bad. That's a shame. That's a crying shame. Zero construction. We're not going to be able to build anything here. Well, that is a tragedy. Ah, poor Tyrol. How could the Austrians have done this to you? My baby. Alright, we got a 5th Italian Army. This consists of the forces in Tyrol. I'm just going to disband them for now. The time will come, but for the moment, we'll be chill. Let's move the main army corps to Denmark. Can't deploy. Okay. Due to Allied naval invasion. Well, that's fine. I feel strongly that we can make this work. Have we gotten full control of Denmark? Yes, we have. Beautiful. So now Denmark will be exiting the war relatively quickly. Canada as well. They want to enforce investment rights on Morocco. The Canadians do, I mean. So once... Oyo is going to want independence, but they're going to get it because Denmark is going to be forced to capitulate. Although we only have high occupation, not complete occupation. So let's start doing some naval invasions of these smaller areas with our smaller armies. There's one, and then let's grab our other army. Oh, they're in the midst of a battle somehow. Or maybe they're just exiled. That's fine if they're exiled. We'll invade the other Denmark. Oh no, this army is the one involved in the invasion. This one's the one that I can invade with. Hoo-hoo! So good at video games. We're gonna have reduced efficiency, and that's okay. Because we're just trying to get extra occupation of Denmark. Oyo doesn't wish to press forward because they've... Where is Oyo at this point? They're here. Right, because they want independence, and they haven't gotten it. Of that army that was having those supply problems back home. Ooh, wasn't thinking about cash flow when I started this construction. Let's pause. Canada has formed the Steadfast Union. Power block embassy in Canadian-Italian Friendship and Trade Treaty invalidated. Well, that's a crying shame. Canada, how could you? Our relations remain cordial, however. Wow, gosh, I sure have racked up a significant debt over the course of this war. I sure hope I can defeat the Danes. Let's get down to business to defeat the Danes. Alright, so now they're at high occupation and they're losing they're losing war support significantly every week, so I shouldn't have a problem from here. Just a few more weeks, and then I could look to South Tyrol, to Tyrol, and the absolute mess that the Austrians have made on it. Beautiful. We did it. And that's the end of the war. I didn't increase taxes. I'm not sure it was the right call, because national debt is huge right now. I'm paying a huge amount in interest. I should have increased taxes. But it is what it is. I've made my bed, and now it is time for me to lie in it. Actually, I've discovered arc welding. Hooty hoo. Perhaps I shall weld arcs. That's going to cost a ton more power. Means I'm going to need to build more power plants. What can I do for Tyrol? Turmoil is going down. I can unpause construction. What's that going to do to my finances, though? It's going to kind of wreck them. Do I defund my bureaucracy? No. Temptation size large, but I do not. Let's do a tax hike. This is just temporary, so that we can get Tyrol built up, so that they can not be in a state of national tragedy. Do I go to arc-welded buildings? I have such a strong desire to do so. Let me see. The only thing this is going to cost more of is power. Gosh, I want us so bad. I'm gonna need so many power plants to make that happen, though. It's not even a viable strategy in the shortest of terms. I am gonna pause government construction. I've decided. We're gonna stay in the black. We're gonna bash away at this national debt for a little while. 131 million. If I can get positive close to $1 million, that means it's only about a year before I'll be back at something reasonable. How much am I paying in subsidies? Not that much. How is that affecting Gio and Saldo and Co? Pretty good. Pretty good. They own a lot of assets. Particularly, they own a bunch of artillery foundries in Spain, which is interesting. You get them, Gio and Saldo and Co. The real question is, when do they start producing refined steel? Because that's the thing that we want. Can I see here? They need to be prosperous, and then we need to have them going good for 3 years. Okay, so that's probably not going to happen before the end of the run, but it will happen. Oh my goodness, we're already in 1934. Do I want to just blitz the end of the run? I think I do. Let's have an end of the run megasode. I finally got Tyrol from the Austrians. Well, now we have to keep building there. Now we have to keep building there because we stole the territory from the Austrians. We're getting turmoil down. We're improving the situation. It just makes sense. We have to improve things. Devastation is going down. Soon, our construction will pay off. Oh my gosh, these are going to take so long. But the people of Tyrol need jobs. They need to be free. They need to be voting. Don't crash! Victoria 3, stop crashing! No! Alright, well, I guess, my nerds, that will be the end of the episode, unfortunately. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well, and I will see you on the other side.